Hello everyone. Hope you all are good and hope that you have studied all the previous lectures thoroughly. The last lecture that we had was the last lecture for chapter 1, and from today we are going to start a new chapter from part 2, which is accounting for debentures. First chapter was accounting for share capital. What is the meaning of share capital? If a company wants to raise capital, the company will issue shares. Yes, so you know very well what is the meaning of share, what is the procedure for issue of shares. Yes, now sometimes in addition to share capital, if company requires more fund, then this fund can be met by loan or borrowed amount. Yes, so simply speaking, in addition to the issue of shares for raising capital, a company also issues debentures. But there is a difference between the word share and the word debenture. Yes, shares are issued for raising capital, to meet the requirement of long-term funds. Debentures are also issued for meeting the financial requirements of the company. But the difference between these two is what? Now, a person who purchases shares of a company becomes the shareholder, is considered to be the owner of the company. Yes, equity shareholders are the owners of the company. This is given in chapter 1. Debenture holders actually are the creditors for the company. They cannot be considered. Debenture holder is not considered as the owner of the company. Yes, the procedure is simple. The company will issue debentures and the person who will purchase debentures, yes, becomes the creditor of the company. In short, debentures is considered to be the liability of a company. Just the way shares are issued, debentures are also issued. But there is a difference, as I said. Debenture is a liability for the company. Yes, we are doing chapter 2 on page number 64, accounting for debentures. You have a detailed introduction. You may please read the same and let us understand the weightage of this chapter first of all. The total weightage of this chapter is of 8 marks, of which 1 is MCQ, 1 is VSQ, and there are going to be 2 short questions, each of 3 marks. Alright? So only short questions from this, and theory, be it 1 MCQ and 1 VSQ. Yes? So total 8 marks is the weightage of this chapter. Understanding the meaning of debenture, we had an introduction, and the meaning says debenture is a document that confirms the date of the company and its acknowledgement of the date. Date is a liability. Yes. So they say debenture is a document that confirms the date of the company. Yes. This is not good. This was not mentioned in chapter 1 that shares is a date of the company. No. Yes. The amount of debenture is to be returned to debenture holders in due time. Yes, depends upon the types of debentures. Yes, there are several important points which are given on page number 65 in your textbook related to debenture, important points relating to debenture. So you should please read those points for understanding the meaning of debenture more clearly. Yes, and then also you have types of debenture on the same page on the basis of security and further as per negotiability and procedure for redemption, etc., is given. Yes, we are going to study the accounting effects for issue of debentures in today's lecture after having an introduction. Yes, so it is given on page number 67 in your textbook and is also presented on your screen. We are learning accounting effects for issue of debentures. Just like you have a procedure for issue of shares and accounting effects for the same, several journal entries for the same, you are having it even for debentures. Yes, so accounting effects for issue of debentures, I repeat, on page number 67 in your textbook, part 2, chapter 2. It says procedure, transactions and name of accounts for issue of debentures are same as share capital transactions, such as debenture application account, debenture allotment account, debenture calls account, etc. Debenture percentage is always mentioned before the word debenture. The rate of interest that is paid on debenture is always mentioned, is what they are trying to say. Following accounting entries will be passed in the books of company on issue of debentures under different circumstances. Issue of debentures at par. You know the meaning for the word par very well. The shares issued at par we have understood. Issue of shares at par is what? The issue of shares at its face value, simply. Yes? Similarly, issue of debentures at par. Further it says, when the full amount of debentures is called up at a time. Full amount. The entire amount of debenture called up at a time. Then what is the journal entry? Yes? First journal entry, bank account debit to -% debentures application and allotment account. We have learned this journal entry in share capital even. Yes? In share capital you used to write share application and allotment. Instead of that, here you are going to write -% debentures application and allotment account. The percentage of debentures will be mentioned in the given question. Yes, that percentage is the rate of interest. Yes, see, when a company will issue debentures, the people who are going to purchase debentures, yes, will get something in return, and that something in return is the amount of interest that the company will pay. So how much amount of interest the company is going to pay is mentioned well in advance. Alright? So bank account debit to -% debentures application and allotment account. Second journal entry says -% debenture application and allotment account debit to -% debentures account. See, just the way the amount of share application, share allotment, share final call, everything is transferred to share capital account. Yes. Similarly, the amount of debentures is to be transferred to debentures account. Amount received on debenture application and allotment is to be transferred to debentures account. Debentures is a liability, is shown in balance sheet on liabilities side under the heading of non-current liabilities. Yes? So amount received on debenture application, debenture allotment, debenture calls, everything is to be transferred to debentures account. Alright? So they have given you an example for understanding this. For example, a company issued 8,000 9% debentures of ₹100 each. The full amount on debenture was called up on application. It was received. A company has issued 8,000 9% debentures of ₹100 each. What is the price of debenture? 100 rupees. The full amount on debenture was called up on application. Yes, that means the entire amount is called up with application. So the two journal entries that we have understood, we are going to apply the same. First one, bank account debit to 9% debenture application and allotment account. See, 9% is mentioned here. 9% debentures. It is mentioned in the example given. Being application money fully received on 8,000 debentures at ₹100 per debenture. 8,000 debentures and 100 rupees per debenture. So 8,000 into 100 gives you 8 lakh rupees. Second journal entry, for transferring the amount of debenture application and allotment to debentures account. 9% debenture application and allotment account debit to 9% debentures account, which is 8 lakh. Being application money transferred to debentures account. Alright, as I said, the amount received on share application and allotment is to be transferred to share capital account. Similarly, the amount received on 9% debenture application and allotment is to be transferred to 9% debentures account. Yes? When the full amount of debentures is called up at the time of application, then that account will be credited to debenture application and allotment account. So all they are trying to say is that whenever the company will call the amount of debenture along with application, the entire amount of debenture along with application, then it is to be credited to debenture application and allotment account. Yes? Fine then. The next topic says, when the amount of debentures is called up in installments. Now this you know very well. This we have understood in the previous chapter itself, that the amount of shares, it is called up in installments. Which are the installments? Application, allotment, first call and final call. Yes? So it is completely similar to the journal entries that we have learned in previous chapter. Here, just instead of writing share application, you are going to write debenture application. Instead of writing share allotment, you are going to write debenture allotment. Yes, just that simple. So let us read the same. When the amount of debentures is called up in installments, following entries will be passed on the issue of debentures. Here, assume that the debentures carry 9% interest. You have to assume that the debentures carry 9% interest. So, reading up the first journal entry, on receipt of application money, when application money is received, what is the journal entry? As I said, it's not new. You just have to replace share with debenture. And that is what is done here. Bank account debit to 9% debenture application account. Yes, you see, 9% debenture application. What we used to write here, we used to write it as share application. Yes, so you already know everything. You just have to replace words. Next, on transfer of application money to debenture account, it means allotment of debentures. Yes, so 9% debenture application account debit to 9% debenture account. Now this journal entry is similar to the transfer of application money to share capital, if you remember. Share application account debit to share capital. So here debenture application account debit to debenture account. Yes, and one more thing, it is not compulsory that it is 9% interest always. It is the way it is mentioned in the question. The rate of interest will be mentioned. Alright? Next, the third journal entry about refund of money to applicants of rejected applications. Okay, this journal entry is to be written in the case of oversubscription of debentures. When the number of debentures issued and the applications received from applicants, if it is in excess, then the excess applications are to be rejected and the amount is to be refunded. What is the journal entry for that? 9% debenture application account debit to bank account, being application money returned to applicants on rejected applications. Alright? Then, on transfer of surplus application money on partially accepted application, 9% debenture application account debit to 9% debenture allotment account. This is the case of pro rata that we have understood. Yes, so this journal entry obviously you will understand while solving practical sums. Mostly in short sums this journal entry is nowhere included, but still in case if we come to any such sort of sum, then this journal entry will be clear during that time. Next, when allotment money becomes due, 9% debenture allotment account debit to 9% debenture account. Again, when allotment money becomes due on share capital, yes, what is the journal entry? 9%, not 9%, it says share allotment account debit to share capital. So here it is debenture allotment debit to 9% debenture account. You see everything is similar. Then on receipt of allotment money, bank account debit to 9% debenture allotment account. The amount of debenture is received. Finally, when amount becomes due on call, again it is extremely simple. 9% debenture call account debit to 9% debenture account. On receipt of call money, bank account debit to 9% debenture call account. Alright? So we have gone through the journal entries. And now on the basis of this journal entries, we are going to understand a simple illustration. Yes? See, as I said, the journal entries were not new. Even the difference is minor, yes, compared to chapter 1 that we have completed in the previous lecture. Yes? So, if you pay attention, then it is extremely easy. Yes, it's not hard. Journal entries are also similar. We have gone through all the journal entries and we have just replaced the word share with debenture. Nothing else. And on basis of the same, we are going to do illustration 1, which is again very simple. Okay, illustration 1. Ashok Mills Limited issued 8,000 debentures of ₹100 each for public subscription. Interest is to be paid at the rate 8% per annum on debentures. So this is the rate of interest. The number of debentures issued 8,000. What is the price of debenture? ₹100. The amount were called up per debenture as under. With application ₹30, with allotment 40, on call 30. So 30 plus 40, 70 plus 30, 100. The face value of debenture is ₹100. Okay, fine. Applications were received by company for 10,000 debentures. How many debentures the company has issued? 8,000. How many applications have been received? 10,000. How much is in excess? 2,000. So 2,000 will be rejected, 8,000 will be allotted. After allotment of 8,000 debentures, rejected excess applications of debentures and refunded the money to applicants. All the amounts due on allotment and call were duly received. Write journal entries in the books of company. So firstly, you will prepare the format for journal, and we have understood the question well. The company has issued 8,000 debentures. Price of the debenture, face value of debenture ₹100. 30 with application, 40 with allotment, 30 with call. So the very first journal entry that we are going to write is bank account debit to 8% debenture application account. See, the amount is called up in installments. Yes? If it was called all together, then it is to be written as to 8% debenture application and allotment account. But here it is called up in installments, and hence we are writing it in this way. So bank account debit to 8% debenture application account. Being receipt of application money on 10,000 debentures at ₹30 per debenture. Obviously, the applications have been received for 10,000 debentures. And what is the application money? ₹30 per debenture. So 10,000 into 30 is 3 lakh rupees. 3 lakh has been received for debenture application. Now, the same amount is to be transferred to debenture account, and the journal entry for which says 8% debenture application account debit 3 lakh rupees to 8% debenture account 2,40,000. How 2,40,000? It is 8,000 into 30. And remaining excess, the 2,000. 2,000 into 30 rupees, that is 60,000, is rejected. So to bank account 60,000. Alright? Then allotment money becomes due. So journal entry for that is 8% debenture allotment account debit to 8% debenture account. 8,000 debentures at ₹40 per debenture. Now we are supposed to consider 8,000 rupees because not 8,000 rupees, 8,000 debentures, because 2,000 debentures have been rejected. So 8,000 is to be considered, and money becomes due on 8,000 debentures at ₹40 per debenture. So 8,000 into 40, 3,20,000. The next journal entry says bank account debit to 8% debenture allotment account, which is for the receipt of allotment money. So 3,20,000 again. Then debenture call becomes due. Fifth journal entry, 8% debenture call account debit to 8% debenture account. 8,000 into 30 per debenture. Yes, the amount called up with call is rupees 30 is mentioned in the question. So 8,000 into 30, 2,40,000. Then bank account debit to 8% debenture call account. This is when debenture call money is received. Yes, 2,40,000 becomes due and 2,40,000 is received. And the sum is complete. Illustration 1 is completely over. Yes, which was extremely simple. And if we are going to find the sums of similar kind in your exercise, most probably this type of sums are not much expected in exam, but still we are going to solve the same. So page number 112, exercise question 4 is similar to illustration 1 that you are supposed to do today in homework. And further, we have a topic which is issue of debentures at premium that we are going to understand in the next lecture. Yes, and we have journal entries for the same again. Just because we have learned journal entries in this lecture, in the beginning of this lecture, about a particular topic related to debentures. So we are not going to learn the journal entries for issue of debentures at premium in this lecture. We are keeping it for next lecture. Let us see what is your homework for today. You're supposed to read the theory which is given on page number 64, 65 and 66. That is the introduction of the chapter and the related theory. And you are supposed to write down the journal entries for issue of debentures at par and also when the amount of debentures is called up in installments. In short, the journal entries that I have explained in today's lecture. And you are going to solve illustration 1 and sum number 4 from exercise. So that's all for today. We'll see you in the next lecture with the same chapter with a topic ahead. Till then, stay home, stay safe and study well.